Okay.
When natural beauty is all around us, it's only natural to do whatever it takes to capture it. Brent Brown knows it when he sees it.
Well, I had laid this out previous to the snowstorm.
Through his lens, almost everything looks larger than life.
Any photographer knows a white background's the best thing to shoot people against.
He's not shooting supermodels. Brent specializes in superheroes and villains.
Batman and Mr. Freeze. I'm trying to get some kinetic action going on here. What's that guy doing over there? With action figures in the snow.
The local cartoonist takes advantage of ideal conditions for a photo opportunity.
It snowed one day and I thought, hey, I got some figures that would go good in the snow. I've been calling it action figure still photography on my website.
Whatever you call it, Brent constantly takes it to the next level.
When I make comics out of them with dialogue balloons and actual a theme, you know, and panels like a comic strip, I think that's called fumetti. Yeah, I mean...
You could say his hobby is both creative and practical.
It's a good way to get used to the figures that would otherwise be standing there.
They're all in his office. Brent's collected thousands of them since the 1970s. Now his photos are the outlet for his sometimes twisted imagination.
People who don't know that grown men play with action figures are kind of like, well, you ain't right.
Which is a pretty fair question. Are you right?
Probably not right, no.
No one had to tell Brent to go outside and play in the snow. Outside his mountain home, that part comes oh so naturally.
If I do it at the beach, there's people watching me wondering what the heck I'm doing.
In Horseshoe, John Lee, News 13.
How does he feel today?
Not bad.
For these horses being led to an exercise in healing, it's a familiar routine.
So what do you notice about your horse that you brought out here?
In a corral where questions are answered through a connection of man with animal.
Anything in particular that surprises you?
Veterans such as Matthew Estridge, who suffered a brain injury after being hit by an IED, are learning about themselves.
This place has really given me the confidence to go out and try to build new relationships.
So what do you think it is about those three having a conversation?
It's a place near Marshall called Heart of Horse Sense, a nonprofit providing horse therapy to injured veterans and at-risk youth. Shannon Knapp's the founder.
Once they learn that connection and relationship is a good thing, they can handle just about anything.
Through connecting with horses in a way that they get a positive response.
Who do I have to be to cause the horse to want to connect with me?
I didn't really choose him, he chose me.
They're learning how to build relationships. Matthew's been working with Cody for 6 months now.
The main thing about this guy is he requires me to be who I am. I can't say I'm somebody on the outside and not be who I am on the inside. You know, he requires me to be honest with myself.
And as much as veterans like Matthew and volunteer Mary Bachlick are helped.
Good job. Playing with him and that just washes away everything else you might have been thinking of that bothers you.
These horses are being helped too. They've been rescued from bad conditions.
They're physically unable to be ridden, they're mentally, emotionally unable to be ridden, and a lot of times people have no use for a horse that can't be ridden.
Good boy, Dreamer.
Here, the horses and the people in need of healing are helping each other.
There's horses here that you couldn't touch them for years.
And like some of the people who struggle with everyday life,
it was a lifesaver for me. Really, to be honest with you, it was a lifesaver.
Come on.
These are steps in the right direction.
There you go.
If you want a relationship, you're going to have to try something else.
It comes down to choices.
Over here, hi. See, he wants a relationship, and he gets to ask for it. So that's the key thing is he gets choice.
Come on, Dreamer. Uh-oh.
And like life, there will be missteps, but where horse sense is leading those in need.
We're going to head back up. Right, nice.
It can only get better.
There's always something that we can do with horses that's going to teach us about ourselves.
So much of how we see the world depends on where we've been.
We all have obstacles. There's always ways through it.
Just learn to accept the situation as it is.
At Lake Osceola in Hendersonville, Mike Marino is mostly alone with his thoughts as he prepares for the Asheville Marathon.
It's nice and quiet, secluded. Got a lot of people out here walking their dogs. My mind just kind of wanders, or if there's things I'm angry about, it helps me let it go.
Running has been his bridge over troubling waters. Life as he once saw it has faded fast.
I can't produce a protein to keep certain cells in my eyes alive. I have trouble seeing at night, go to a movie theater and have trouble finding my way out of it.
Those were the signs.
And then driving at dark became more difficult.
Somewhere along the line, he concluded that life as a legally blind man is not a sprint, but a marathon. He was diagnosed with a hereditary disease called Usher's syndrome, which causes moderate hearing loss at birth. It also leads to retinitis pigmentosa, or tunnel vision.
It was hard, it really was. At first you feel a lot of anxiety over what my future might hold.
Mike's medals are mementos of marathon missions accomplished, tethered to another runner each time he treks 26 miles. What should have been one of the greatest days of his life turned out to be one of the nation's worst.
We heard this explosion.
Minutes after finishing the Boston Marathon in 2013, 2 bombs killed 3 and injured hundreds of others.
And that's when chaos occurred. I think I was about maybe 60 yards away.
Fortunate just to walk away unharmed. But the tragedy after his personal triumph gave him one more reason to look at the world differently.
Makes me appreciate life a little bit more.
And instead of dwelling on what he might someday lose, Mike is focused on everything he has to gain.
Actually, it's good marathon running weather.
In Hendersonville, John Lee, News 13.
What does the signal mean? Stop. Stop.
Yep, it's the Youth Environmental Leadership Program.
Your stronger or your heavier paddler is in what part of the boat?
Back.
The back of the boat.
Now you gotta put these on good.
Drag it out. Make sure it's floating.
We focus on water quality and the restoration of streams.
We take teens from the ages of 16 to 19. We offer them a paid internship that's focused on water quality.
Personally, me, we gotta keep the river clean anyways. It ain't nothing to dump trash and all that in.
I was just scared because I ain't never done something like this. Like, it's for kids who don't really have nothing to do over the summer, and they can come and do something like this.
I want them to know that this is for everybody, any field that they want to go into. There's so many different ways to be an environmentalist.
This is my preferred work area now. Like, if I work, I would prefer to be doing something outdoors now, prefer to do something in this nature. It's just to know that I'm making a difference by doing the small things helps the bigger picture.
My hopes is that they get interest and a value for their natural environment. These kids are our future, and helping them to make that connection, even if they don't go into the environmental field. After doing a river cleanup, you will think twice before you throw something in a creek or a river. Building a awareness around the things that really impact one of our most perishable resources, which is water.
I love music.
As each school day winds down, some are just warming up at Pisgah High.
The deep tone, dark tone.
You might say Joseph Putnam is the fresh face of heavy metal.
This one probably weighs about 30 pounds. Whenever you have a solo, it's kind of compared to being the MVP of a Super Bowl.
He embraces the challenge with open arms and open lungs.
It's very demanding on wind. You have to have a lot of lung pressure.
Some might doubt the tuba would ever win a brass beauty pageant, but after just a year with the instrument, he loves it with a passion.
It's kind of the backbone of the band, you know? It helps keep the tempo along with percussion.
1, 2, 3.
Band director Adam Stewart says Joseph outplays folks by simply outworking them.
He's probably more determined than most people in the band. E flat, 1, 2, and 3, and...
That work ethic makes him one of the best in the nation.
Thank you, Jesus. Just
really excited that I got it.
Joseph's been picked for the Bands of America Honor Band.
I get to go to Pasadena, California and march in the Rose Parade December 28th.
Joseph carries the weight of more than just the tuba. He has to wear a compression sleeve on his arm because of a vascular malformation. The often painful condition requires monthly surgery at Duke.
I was born with extra veins and they clotted and rose to the surface, kind of creating an extra nerve.
Despite that, the dependable sophomore doesn't stop.
He'll have trouble right after he gets back from surgery, just as far as, carrying the weight of the tuba, but he rises to it like a champion.
Joseph may never get to play football, but he can play the Pisgah fight song.
I'm right there beside the football team, playing and cheering them on, and I'm kind of glad that I was born with it. It kind of gave me that calling.
Determined to end every single day on a low note.
Just never give up. Nothing's impossible.
In Canton.
It just makes you proud of him.
John Lee, News 13.